snarl of brambles. The hem of her skirt snagged on a thorn, dragging her back, and it was while she was leaning over to release it that she felt an unaccountable prickle of alarm scratch down her spine. Her first thought was that she had been found out, and she whirled around, fully expecting to see the grinning face of a scarlet-coated hunter. Only the trees, however, green and sparkling in the filtered sunlight, met her startled gaze, and she waited for her heart to settle back into her chest. She acknowledged the birds bickering in the branches above and the squirrels rustling through the dense undergrowth that surrounded her. She smiled inwardly, even imagining she could hear the crackling voice of her old governess scolding her. "You should never go out walking alone, young missy. It is a sure invitation to trouble. The woods are full of gap-toothed boar hunters who would as soon ruin an innocent babe as stop to ask the time of day." Catherine's smile was a little sad as she continued walking, for Miss Phoebe had died of the fever 2 summers ago. As stern and as uncompromising as she had been, at least the governess had genuinely cared for her charge. The same could hardly be said of Catherine's mother, Lady Caroline Ashbrooke, or of her father, Sir Alfred, a recently elected Member of Parliament who rarely spared more than a passing thought for anyone in his family, let alone a daughter who seemed determined to challenge him into early grey hairs. In truth, Catherine had only her brother, Damien, to whom she could turn for advice or comfort, and even he was distancing himself more and more these days. He had established a law practice in London and seldom found time to commute to Derby. He was here now for a few too brief days, but only because it was her birthday and she had all but threatened him at gunpoint to be here. It was not every day a girl turned 18, nor was it every girl who could boast of receiving 6 proposals of marriage in the past 24 months. So many, in fact, that the faces of the petitioners had begun to run together. She had not had the heart to tell them their efforts had all been in vain. She had already made her choice, and that choice was garrisoned right here in Derby. Lieutenant Hamilton Garner was tall and heartbreakingly handsome. He had the lean, sinewy body of a fencer, and indeed was master of the sword for his regiment of the King's Royal Dragoons. He was 28, the son of a London banker, and from the moment Catherine had first set eyes upon him, she had known he was the man worthy of her affections. The fact that he never lacked for beautiful and willing companions did not discourage her, nor did the reputation he had brought back with him from the continent. The rumours of his quick temper, of his duelling escapades, and his many scandalous affairs only made the challenge of bringing him to heel all the more intriguing, as far as Catherine was concerned. His very nature dictated that he seek the most popular, most sought-after heiress in Derby for his own, just as her nature demanded a conquest of equally momentous proportions. And because he had spent the last 3 months practising drills and formations on cow pastures, while she had been at the heart of the whirlwind in London, well, he would undoubtedly be champing at the bit to stake his claim. To that end, Catherine had made grand plans for the stroke of midnight. Thoughts of them made her skin tingle and her pulse race, and her footsteps turned swift and light as she rounded a thatch of tall junipers. There, she stopped so suddenly that her skirt and petticoats creamed against her ankles like the backwash of a ship. The glade she sought was directly ahead of her, wide and slightly misted from the small pool at its centre. The sunbeams, bolder and broader here, exaggerated the brilliant greens of the leaves and ferns, silvered the surface of the water, and immodestly flared around the naked torso of a man kneeling in the